Hey everyone, today we are diving into a foundational topic in Python programming, variables. Whether you are just starting out or brushing up on new skills, this video is for you. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to create, use and manipulate variables in Python, as well as how they can be applied in real-world scenarios. First things first, what exactly are variables? So let's see what are variables. We'll think of variables like containers that store data for us to use later in our code. In Python, we don't need to explicitly declare the type of variable. It automatically figures out based on what value we assign to it. Let me show you an example of how assign a value to a variable. So here I am going to assign 5 for my variable called x. So it can be written as follows: x equal 5. So here I store 5 in my variable called x. So 5 is an integer. 5 is an integer. Here you see x is a variable holding the value 5. Now let's see y equals, within quotation marks, hello world. So here hello world is a string. So we can assign strings to a variable. So that is how we assign variables for strings and integer. Here x is holding an integer value of 5 and y is holding the string hello world. It's that simple. So when we speak about variables, we have to pay our attention to the rules for naming variables. Now, when naming variables, there are few rules to keep in mind. Let me quickly go through them. First one, variable names must start with a letter or an underscore. Variable names cannot start with a number. Variable names can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Variable names are case sensitive. So these are the things you need to keep in your mind when naming variables. For example, I'll give some examples. So these names are valid. For example, so you can use my look at this one, my underscore variable equal 10. So this is a valid name for a variable. On the other hand, you can write underscore age equals 25. This is also a valid method of naming variables. On the other hand, you can assign a variable like name equals Ashoka. So this is also a valid method of naming variable. So what you keep in your mind is, what you should keep in your mind is, variable can't start with a number. For example, you can't assign variable like this. Just say 1 name equal just say this is a illegal way of naming variable. So you can't start with a number. Okay. One cool thing about Python is that variables are flexible. You can reassign them to a different value, even different data type. So what is that? For example, just say x equal 5. On the other hand, I am going to assign, let's say x equal now I am a string. So here what I did, I reassign a different value for my same variable. There you can see the data type is different. So first one I assign 5 for the variable x variable. So the second time I assign a string value for the same variable x. So in that case you can see this, the variables are flexible in Python. So I'll prove it. Just say now print x. You see, it prints the last assigned variable. It means now I am a string. Okay, it is the last variable, string I assigned to the x variable. So it proves that in Python variables are flexible and you can reassign them to a different value. As you can see, x first holds an integer and then it gets reassigned to a string. Python doesn't mind as long as the variable name follows the rules. So the other thing is you can also assign values to multiple variables in a single line. You can assign values to multiple variables in a single line. For example, just say a comma b comma c comma equals 1 comma 2 comma and 3. So now if I print the output, just say print x comma y comma z. A comma b comma c. So what happens? It prints the values. Means you can assign values to multiple variables in a single line. So assign the same value to multiple variables. For example, just say I am going to assign x equals y equals z equals 0. Then if I print x comma y comma and z comma, what happens? Output is like this. So what you should keep in your mind is we can assign the same value to multiple variables like this. This is a quick and easy way to assign values when you need to set up multiple variables at once. So on the other hand, under the variable lesson, just see how to understand variable types and checking the variable types. Python automatically detects the type of data your variable holds. You can check the type using type function. For example, just say here I am going to assign x equals 10, right? Then y equals 1.2. Then the z equals, just say, string. Hello. Okay, hello. Then I want to know the type of these assigned variables. To check the types, what you should do is you have to use a type command, print type x. You see, it shows the type. You see, first one is equal 10. 10 means integer. So let's see the second one. Print print type y. Then if the y is 1.2 means it's a float. Then the last one, print type z. You see the last one is z. The assign is string for z variable, so it shows as a string. So using the type function, you can check the type of your variables. You see, in this case, Python detects that x is an integer, y is a float, and z is a string. The other important thing you should learn under the variable is global versus local variable. So let's quickly touch on global and local variables. Variables defined inside a function are local to that function, while variables defined outside are global. Here is an example. So just say x equal global, right? So here I assign global variable to x, variable x. Then def my function print x. So here x equal local. So on the other hand, my function you see here what happens? The first one is a local variable because it defines inside the function. Okay, it defines this inside this function. So what happens if I type like this? My function print x, then it is a global. So that is how global and local variable work. So it means x equals go global. So this is a global variable because you see this is not inside the function. So here, but in this one I have assigned this string to this x variable within the function. So therefore it is a local variable. So here in this case this is a global variable. So this is what I want to explain. Variables defined inside a function are local of that function, while variables defined outside are global. So I think it's clear to you. When you run this code, you will see that the value of x inside the function is different from the global x outside. If you want to modify a global variable inside a function, you can use the global keyword. So if you want to modify a global variable inside a function, you can use the global keyword. So let's see how to do it. Just say def modify global def modify global modify global, then global x exchange globally, then modify underscore global print x. You see that output is changed globally. So what I did, when you run this code, you will see that values of x inside the function is different from the global x outside. So if you want to modify a global variable inside the function, you can use the global keyword. If you use the global keyword, then you can modify global variable inside the function. So that is what I explained to you. Now finally, I want to do very important thing. It means now I want to explain you the practical applications of variables. Okay, so how to apply these variables practically. Now let's get practical. I'll show you a few real world examples where variables play a key role in sample applications. So first example is user information display. First, let's choose variable to store and display the user's information. For example, just say there is a user called Ashoka, name Ashoka, then his age is 40, and also his student equals true. Then if I print, say print if name age, if name age is student underscore student, then let's see what happens. Then here I was able to print the user information. Name Ashoka, age 40, and is he a student? Yes, true. So you can use variables in this kind of practical situations. Here I explain how to use user information, so user details using variable. So my second practical example is temperature converter. Now let's build a simple temperature converter from a Celsius to Fahrenheit using variables. So this is how it happens. Let's say Celsius equals 25, then Fahrenheit equals Celsius multiplied 9, 5, and plus 32. So in that case, HRE in HGI. Now I want to print the conversion. Print if Celsius is equal to Fahrenheit. Then now let's, you see, 25 Celsius is equal to 77.0 Fahrenheit. So this is the output. This is a practical example of how we can use variables for calculations. So you can use variables in this kind of calculations. Okay, here the assign values to the cells. This variable is 25 and this is a function. That is it for today. We have covered how to create variables, assign values, the rules for naming them, and even some practical examples you can try on your own. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!